Hello YouTube! This is a video about Factorio. And my name is Old Man Classic. I used to play Classic WoW back in the day, not at the moment. I found a new love, and this game is called Factorio. If you know what this game is, you probably understand the countless hours that one could put into this game, making changes, fine-tuning things to your liking so that your factory is dialed in. And this is a factory simulation game, and the object of this game is to, of course, build a rocket ship so you can launch yourself off this alien planet that is infested by the inhabitants known as spiders. But we know that there's much more to this game than just launching your first rocket. And the goal of many of us is to create what's called a Megabase. And that's what we just did right here in this video I'm about to show you is my Megabase that I built with the help of the designs of a YouTuber that I'd like to give a great big thank you and shout out to, Nilaus. I'm going to leave a link for his channel down in the description below, so please go check him out and say hello if you don't know about his channel already. But if you're watching this YouTube video and you found me because you're searching for Factorio videos, you probably have seen his videos already. So thank you for watching this, and if Nilaus yourself is watching this video, I want to say thank you, sir, for showing me how to build a Megabase. I never thought that I would do it, especially when I first started playing this game, not having any help from YouTube videos, just trying to do it myself on peaceful mode with a spaghetti factory with no designs or output ratios, and just trying to go at it ad hoc and launching my first rocket. That was quite an accomplishment. And then diving into your masterclass videos on Factorio and learning how the ratios all matter and learning how to put things together and making a hub and making a main bus and building a base in the book to a mega base in the book. This video wouldn't be possible without your videos and the designs that you've created, and all the contribution from the Factorio community. So without ado, let's take a look at my so-called Megabase. Here it is, beautiful, beautiful Megabase. It has the beauty and the organization of a bedroom of someone with ADHD. Yes, I know, that is my Megabase, and I love it because it is mine. But as you can see, I got a ton of solar power plants all over the place. Let's take a look. This used to be the build a base in the book design with the main bus that you can see that I used off of Nilaus's videos. And sometimes I may mispronounce her name, Nilaus. I may add an H where an H doesn't belong. My apologies if I say Nilaus, if it sounds like that, as opposed to Nilaus. Sometimes I just roll with it. And if for the YouTube watching audience it sounds like I'm talking a little bit fast in this video, is because I am excited because this game is beautiful, and I typically watch all my YouTube videos on ×2 speed, so I automatically think that everybody on YouTube just talks twice as fast as they probably should. So if I talk a little fast, that is why. You probably won't need to double speed my videos in order to watch these. So as you can see, my logistic robots are going crazy. I got probably about 20,000 of them, 50,000 construction robots. I love the solar panel designs. In order to make a Megabase and for your computer to handle it, you can't have all nuclear power because of all the calculations it has to do with the individual units and the water pumps and the heat calculations. With solar power, every solar power panel you put on the map collectively counts as just one solar panel, and so it only has to do the calculation once. So no matter how many solar panels you put on the map, the game just the calculation is always just a single panel, and so it reduces the CPU usage. But if you're watching this video because you watched every other Factorio video out there on YouTube, you probably know that already. So with that solar power design, let's kind of take a look at this ad hoc base. I decided to install a big sheet of solar panels. Right now it's 10 city blocks wide, city blocks from the Nilaus masterclass designs and Megabase in the book design. As you can see right here, Megabase in a book. I just got it from Nilaus, and of course I got his solar power right there. And that's what I have. And so I got 10 across, and right now it's 35 in height. And I'm going to extend this by about 10 city blocks south, and then, fill it in. And then I might do about 5 city blocks north for a total of 50 high and 10 wide, which would give me 500 city blocks of solar power, about 22 gigawatts of power. Now, one of the things that I noticed while building a Megabase was the problem of having enough power to make it through the evening. When I had my nuclear power plants up, it wasn't that much of a problem, especially while I added the solar power. My accumulators would get extra charge from the nuclear power plants, and it would keep me through the evening. But since I took away the nuclear power plants, the base has had a pretty hard struggle in order to keep the power through the evening. So in order to have the full amount of power, maybe you know this already, but I definitely learned this from trial and error, was you need the output of your solar panels need to be twice the amount that your base needs during the day, because obviously you need enough power during the evening, and you need to create that power in order to use that power. It makes sense, huh? The accumulators will not fully charge unless you have the appropriate amount of power to charge them up. In order for them to have the efficiency to last you through the evening. If you don't have twice the amount of power output in your solar panels, from what I've noticed, and maybe I'm wrong, if I'm wrong, tell me in the comments, but if you don't have the twice as much power from your solar panels, your accumulators won't charge all the way, and you won't last through the evening. So let's go ahead and take a look at my power right now. Right now it's about 19 gigawatts output, but in total, I've been having 26 gigawatts of output from my solar power panels. And then my accumulators put out about 19 Gs. I think during the day, everything probably uses about 14 gigawatts, maybe more, maybe it is 19 now. But I need twice as much power. You can see the accumulator charge just deteriorates real fast. You see it cross, and managing your power is keeps you alive. But the cool thing about having a Megabase is that even if you run out of power and you go dark and the biters just attack your city and kill stuff, your base is so beefy, and hopefully you got enough solar panels that you just repair itself. The not a wall design with the laser turrets just repair itself, and you're ready to rock and roll the next day. The biggest thing is just having enough solar power, and I can't believe how much solar power you need. You definitely need more space of solar power than you do actual base. Another problem that I ran into besides power was the train network. One of the things that I noticed on Nilaus's videos was that he started to run into train slowdown because of train congestion. Now, a lot of people gave him great ideas, and he was talking about that, like a train bus or a depot station, train buffer depots around the base, and all this other ideas, and that's cool. I think he's coming up with his own solutions, and I love watching his videos, and we're going to see what he comes up with. But I did something, I don't know if it's the same thing that he did or a little different, but I notice when you start building a base and you start building a Megabase, just everything in general, when it comes to Factorio, trying to build Megabases, is you end up in this cycle of Russian doll type scenarios. And what do I mean by a Russian doll? Well, if you know what a Russian doll is where you got a doll inside of another doll inside of another doll. And, you got a big Russian doll, and then you open it up and you got a little one and then a little one. Well, it's kind of like a reverse Russian doll, because when I first built build my base with a main bus over here. You build everything around, and you got your main bus, and your entire base is just right here, and you're a launcher rocket, you win the game. And then you expand out to make a Megabase, right? And then as I created the train network, I started creating multiple green circuit builds as opposed to what I had over here, so I could build way more green circuits, red circuits, blue circuits, you know, copper, everything you needed in order to create more stuff, you know. Kind of like getting a promotion at work or getting a better job. Unless you play this game, which you may not be able to work because all your time's sucked into this game. I'm joking, but I'm sure there's people out there. Play responsibly. Everyone says drink responsibly, but we should start saying play responsibly. So, which is don't suck all your time into a video game. But this video game is so much fun. I haven't had so much fun in a video game since Civilization series. If you ever played the Civilization series, there was a quote saying, "One more turn," and before you know it, you spent the whole evening playing Civilization. And I think the last Civilization game I played was like Civ 5. This game, no exceptions, except for in this game, it's the factory must grow. That's the statement they use. Boy, is it true. So back to the Russian doll statement, what I was talking about is that as you developed more train networks and brought your stuff outside the base, you can get rid of the components of your main bus to eventually you don't need your main bus anymore. And all your base is expanded outside and everything is delivered via your train network. And then once this reaches capacity, and you know it's reached kind of a capacity, you're bumping up against something, your trains start slowing down. They start getting stuck in intersections. They start turning into places they shouldn't belong, like, you know, factories that they're not even a part of, you know, and you gotta, like, you know, it's like, you know, putting cats back into a bag. Well, you know, once the cats are out of the bag, it's hard to put your trains back to where they need to go because the train network gets so busy. So just like what we did was take the red circuits out of here and put them out here and created all the components through the train network. What I did is I took the red circuits from here and put them over here, and I created what I call my little red circuit district. So there's my red circuits. I got about 5 of them for now, and everything that I need in order to make red circuits is all contained between these solar panels and these solar panels. I got my coal here for my plastic. I got my plastic down there with a little bit of water to feed it. I did doing the coal liquefaction design from the Nilaus Megabase in a book design. Of course, I got my iron mined directly into the smelting that goes off to my green circuits. Got the copper that feeds the green circuits as well as the red circuits, and everything's confined just for the red circuits. And now I got plenty of space to expand if I need more red circuits, and this is just its own district. And the reason why I did this is all the trains that it takes for all the coal and the copper and the iron and the plastic and the green circuits that were taken up traffic in here, I got it off of here and put them all into here. Now the only thing that travels into the main base is red circuit trains full of red circuits, and then the empty trains on the way back, and this is the exit for them. And so I'm going to do the same thing over here with the low density structures. I got about 5 of these low density structure things, and eventually I'm going to make its own district. We'll see what happens. But yeah, it's like I said, I call it the Russian doll effect, where it's like you take the stuff out of the base and you put it into your train network. And then as this is starting to reach its capacity, you take things out of here and you make their own districts out of that. Everyone else has different designs. I think I'm probably going to stick with the 8-car trains. I think they work really, really well. To handle some of the 4-car trains to exchange into 8 cars, I built something which I just call my 4-car to 8-car. So I got 2 4-car unloading or come up here into a load. I took the smelters out and then I load them up into an 8-car. And then these guys, when they need to go deliver ore for a copper mine, they can. And I did the same thing with the iron right here. So this iron guy is coming up here, delivering it, and this is from when I just first started making the trains. So I didn't get rid of those mines because it's such a hassle to deconstruct. Have you ever deconstruct things with like buckets and boxes and all that? Your robots will never stop working for like a day. Like it's not efficient. So you can either keep the 4 trains and build something like this so you can transfer them into an 8 train, or what I started to do now that my base is big enough and I don't really care, I just started artillery shelling the boxes that I'm trying to deconstruct. I deconstruct almost everything else except for the boxes, and then if it has like 10,000 ore in each, I just blow it up. And that saves my robots a ton of time. I probably should have done that with the trains too. But I also utilize what's called buffer chests. If you don't use buffer chests, buffer chests were not in the original launch of Factorio. They put these in at a update. I forget what update it was. But these have been so amazing because right here, as you can see, these buffer chests I call my solar panel buffer chests. I got just 3 right here, and I got them spread out amongst the base to help me make solar blocks. And these blocks, again, Megabase in a book designed from Nilaus. And every time I put one down, one of these boxes is enough to completely build one city box. So I think each one of these has 600 solar powers, 600 accumulators, plus enough power and radar and roboports in order to have a little extra. But every time I put down a solar power block, it'll just put it down. And instead of the construction robots going all the way back to the base, they can go from here where the buffer blocks are and place them down. It's so much more efficient, especially as you build so much bigger. Because I do have Spidertrons, but they take like 10 or 20 minutes to cross the entire base, depending on how much speed you got, how many speed legs you have on, exoskeleton legs you have on them. So utilizing the logistic robots using the buffer chest is so much more efficient. Of course, I got a little extra roboports here. Yeah, I love it. So let's also talk about artilleries. I love artillery. I just made a video, maybe I'll show it, of these artillery. When they first landed, they started auto launching and they just took out all of this stuff over here. I was probably a little excited. I don't know if I'm going to share that, but I have the artillery range bonus of level 9. What that means is, we look at our bonuses, it has an extra, every level adds 30% more range to the artillery. I have a plus 270% extra range on these artillery. So if we go in here and check, the manual range is over 2,000 and the automatic range is over 800 range. Okay, when you first get artillery, the manual range is at 560. So however far you could shoot the artillery when you first get it manually, because the automatic range is so short, at level 9, the automatic range is over the distance of the manual, and it helps out a ton because you could see it cleared out all of this spider's nest. And if you ever had to clear out biters by shooting your artillery, it gets annoying trying to click everywhere. Like, I just fired those manually just to have them go over. This used to be a big swarm of biters. They're no longer there. But it's annoying. But when the auto range is far enough, it makes it so much easier. And it's really neat too. If you got like artillery on all 4 corners of your base and on the sides and stuff, after you upgrade to a new level of artillery range, it automatically auto fires at the new extended range, and it's so cool. It looks like, just like fireworks. They're just shooting everywhere. It's pretty awesome. I think this one's going off automatically because I showed some of the map, and so it's now firing. Like if I go like this, it'll probably auto fire some. Yeah, but once one of those finishes, it's really neat because you just see artillery just go everywhere, and it cleans out those biter nests, and it's really neat. And then I have my military Spidertrons build the walls. So my military Spidertrons have explosives. Here they are right here. They have the explosive ammo, as well as everything they need in order to build a not a wall from the Nilaus Megabase in the book. I also utilize buffer chests, so instead of having to walk my Spidertrons all the way back to my main hub, where my old base was, I have manufacturing of explosive and artillery at different parts in the base, and materials delivered, that's what all these guys are, for the explosives and the artillery shells. That's where all those logistic robots are. And then I have the logistic robots deliver solar panels to these buffer chests, so I could build more solar blocks, as well as deliver the explosive rockets to these buffer chests, artillery shells, and these other chests right here. These chests are for not a wall builds, the laser wall builds, and whenever these guys run out of the material to build the walls and they run out of explosive rockets, again, instead of walking them all the way back to the original base, see, now it's firing automatically because I showed some of the map. That's what it looks like when the auto range gets upgraded. It's really neat. Yeah, it's like fireworks. Everything's going everywhere, and then you'll have biters swarm, and then the wall has to like defend itself. And so I also have buffer chests. Let's take a look at some of these buffer chests. So I got the explosive rockets for the Spidertrons. I have the artillery fence. Oh, that's something else. I have repair turrets. This is just laser cannons and repair things. But I started using these more, which is laser wall repair buffer chest. It has laser turrets, it has power poles and repair. So it has everything it needs in order to build a laser wall. And what's neat is that the Spidertrons can get resupplied by those buffer chests. Again, not having to walk your spiders all the way back. These spiders only have one pair of exoskeleton legs, so they're not very fast. And I have like 5 shield level 2 on them, so when they do run into a spider base, they don't die right away. And of course I got 4 batteries, a single robo port so they could build the walls and repair themselves if they need to, and of course a power unit. But yeah, the batteries are there to charge up the shields so they don't die. And what's really neat about these spiders is when you go attack a base, the spitters, the biter spitters that spit goo on the ground and they try to range attack your Spidertrons, they will shoot where your spiders are going, if you haven't noticed that. So when you move your spiders in one direction, they'll fire. If you continue going in that direction, the spitters will spit in front of your Spidertrons, so they run over the attacks. So if you move your spiders before they reach them, so as soon as the spitters spit in the air and then you change directions, you won't run over it and your spiders will survive a lot better. So if you ever run your Spidertrons directly into a big base and you lose a Spidertron or something, that's why. But if you move them in and then you click them out and stuff, and then you move them in and click to a different area, they can survive a lot longer. Or if you go around the perimeter or go in and out, they survive better because what they're doing is they're dodging the projectiles from the biters, because the biters try to lead target your Spidertrons. I thought that was pretty neat. Another way that I expand is obviously the auto fire from the artillery, which I love, the Spidertrons building the walls, and then I wall it off like that, and then I just build my solar power. I'm probably going to do, I think I already mentioned this, this is going to be 50 high and 10 wide, so that's 500 city blocks of solar power, 22 gigawatts. It's going to be great. And then if I need more power, I'll just do another one of these. And then maybe I'll do districts in between. I don't know what it's going to look like. I don't know if my computer is going to be able to handle it. But one of the ways that my computer is handling is I don't use any mods on this. And it's not because I think I'm high and mighty, that I vanilla, I'm not using any mods and I got to pump water to my stuff. It's, I don't think my computer can handle mods. I tried loading the auto rate calculator, and my computer was just crawling. So I don't have a very powerful computer, so I don't use any modifications. This is all just stock game, and so the computer doesn't have to like calculate it. And maybe I'm wrong, maybe the computer doesn't have to calculate modifications, but I noticed that the computer was a little harder when I had mods on. You can see the auto fire in the cannons. That's just beautiful. I think that's just awesome. And they're just shelling. And if you know what it's like to click on every single one of these with a cannon, with an artillery, you know, this guy, you know how much of a luxury it is for this to happen automatically. So I highly recommend another tip for Megabase design, if you're going to keep everything normal with biters on, is get military science and manufacture it and use it. I had to create my own military science because I don't think Nilaus created a military science in his Megabase design. You can see all this, but again, see no military science. I had to create my own. I took something like a purple or something and put all the materials in on one side, and then I, trained the materials out on the other side. I did some kind of a Frankenstein thing for military science, but I got it done, and I upgraded my artilleries, and they're auto firing, and this looks beautiful. And you don't have to click it. It's great. What else? Yeah, those buffer chests are great. I just have 3 artillery in a row, a requester chest that requests from artillery buffer chest that I have set up, and then steel chest load into these guys, and that's all I need. I could do like requester chests in all 3 of them, but I just have 1 requester chest for them to deliver to. I'll never run out of requests from that one, so I'm not bothering. And you can see how fast they're firing. I think I got, let's see, what level do I have of shooting speed? I got level 4 speed, so, and every speed increases it by 100%. So if I got this one, which I will eventually, I just won't have enough ammo for it all to keep up. I would need to increase the amount of production that I have of my artillery shells, and have more buffer chests, because these would fire too fast. You can already see that these guys are already empty, and I need to create more. Here's the horde coming in. Hopefully my wall will defend itself. And upgrading the laser turrets kills them faster too. So having military science is important. These do, God, this turret alone done over 20,000 of damage. It does almost 200 damage per laser shot. And the lasers fire pretty fast too. And then this gets all damaged, and then I have a repair buffer chest right here that has the repair pods and laser turrets. So you can see the robots coming out, they're repairing them. And then if these guys might actually destroy one. I think that one is dead. Wow, look at all that. Oh my gosh, look at that. I got these guys over here. I'm going to bring these guys over. These spiders over here. Now, when you use like your main Spidertrons that go to clear out bases that have explosive rockets, the explosive rockets will also damage all of your artillery and turrets. So for defense, I have this other side construction robots that I have, Spidertrons, that are just like, I think 5 of them or 6, like not a ton. They're pretty slow too. I think they only got 1 exoskeleton, but they got a lot of power and roboports, so they can help build stuff. But I equipped them with normal rockets. So these rockets do over 1,200 per shot, and like 1, if 2 max is going to be needed to take out even the most biggest behemoths. And they die pretty fast with that. And because they're not explosive rockets, it doesn't destroy your stuff. You said it's artillery, it's just going ham. Again, upgrading that artillery range, you don't need to click. Saves your wrist. It's pretty fun. This game's addicting. Again, I haven't had a game such fun since Civilization series. I think I played all the way up to Civ 5. I played even the very first Civilization on DOS back in the day. That was a lot of fun. That was just like one more turn. In this game, the statement is the factory must build. And it is addicting. It's definitely got me through the holiday season and in the pandemic for sure, when people weren't supposed to be going out or doing anything. If you do play this game, just know that it's extremely addicting. People say drink with responsibility, but we should also be saying play video games be responsible while playing video games. Don't let it suck all the time out of your day. I don't always play this game, but when I do, it's a lot of fun. I play it in my downtime, and it is enjoyable. I wish I could just like play 24/7 just like Nilaus, but I can't. I got other stuff I got to do. But when I do play, it's a lot of fun. But yeah, what else did I want to talk about? I showed you the artillery. I showed you the Spidertrons. I showed you the train. I showed you the red district. See, these guys are here. What will happen is these guys will fire with the normal rockets, and even if it's close to my base, it won't just damage my own stuff. They'll defend, and it's pretty legit. So I just keep them there parked out, and they help defend. And then Logistic Robots will refill them. So yeah, that's how to expand a little bit easier. Again, not the most beautiful base in the world, but it's mine and I love it, and I'm excited. I'm going to expand this low density structures next. I wanted to show you the train network. Another thing about train congestion is these intersections. Okay, I got this from the Megabase in the book. I added more chain signals to these cross intersections, and I also added the rail signals at the end, so there could be more efficiency coming through here. Let me see. Let's take a look at this. This has 42 chain signals that I put in here with 4 train stops. That's a lot. Okay, I think Nilaus had it a lot less, but let's take a look. One of the problems that I had was there's no way to turn around. So in order to make a U-turn, a lot of trains were going into places they shouldn't be going. Trains that didn't even belong to this factory part were going in there, and it was creating things and traffic jams, especially if they turned around through here. And then this would get all clunked up, and then I have to go over there and back trains out, redo things in train signals, and it was just a big mess and a headache. So what I'm trying to do is to alleviate this is do roundabouts instead. Now notice this is the exact same size as the 4-way intersection that we had here, but a lot less signals. Let's see how many signals are here. The other one had like what, 42? This one has 12. So a lot less chain signals, still 4 stops, because the stops are at the end as you exit, and the chain signals are where things split. And so now a train can come down here and up here, and they won't really matter because this is in between, and it's like it will act like it's a 2-way depending on where it's going. If it wants to take a left turn, it still can. This can come down here and this can hang a left, or if it needs to do a U-turn. So I think this is going to be a lot more efficient. I thought about these roundabouts because of another YouTuber that I watch by the name of Nathan Sandbox. Shout out to Nathan Sandbox. Go check his channel out. Leave a description in the. I'll leave a link to his channel in the description below this video. He has a whole another design concept. He's also building a Megabase. I think he was inspired by the master class that Nilaus did for building stuff as well, but he's also doing his own spin on things, and I really appreciate his designs. Go check him out. And I think he does other video games as well, just like Nilaus does. The YouTube community has been really amazing and really an inspiration. Oh, I got so many biters attacking me now. That's why I had these guys over here. What a great way to end it. Also, I'll probably have to clean all this up before it like kills everything. But yeah, this game is fun. Again, this is already all rebuilt. You know, when you have a Megabase, it's very beefy. These turrets are taking them out. I might lose all this and all these artilleries, but I'll bring these guys over and they'll repair a lot of this, and we'll be back to the way we were. But yeah, I'd just like to say again, thank you, Nilaus, for being an inspiration, and making public your Megabase in the book design and doing your master class. I learned a lot. It was a lot of fun. And without these designs, I probably would not have tried to even create a base like this, because I would have had to like figure everything out myself, the ratios myself. Again, I'm not using mods, so I'm not even using the average rate calculator that he uses in his videos. So but having a blueprint made it a lot easier to make a Megabase. If you play this game and you want to try making a Megabase, watch some of Nilaus's channels if you haven't already, and it was a lot easier to make a Megabase because watching this stuff. I think this probably is producing 2,500 right now. Is about 800 consumption, but I was doing about 2,500 of science on average. This is 5k a minute, but about 2,500 science a minute is what I was doing. Yeah, I'm gonna try to expand it, alleviate the trains by making some own districts, and maybe expanding this so I don't run out of power. And again, don't be afraid of artillery. Upgrade your military science. I think it really helps. Some people do train artilleries. I really like putting artillery on the corners, and that way when you don't need them and when you expand, like I had artillery here, you could delete the artillery or cut and paste and move them out, and it just works pretty efficiently. And if you got enough logistic robots and you got enough power to power all of the roboports, they'll deliver them. And again, buffer chests are your best friends. There's probably a lot that I'm not saying. I am still a newbie at this. By no means am I an expert at all. All I did was took someone's guidance and design, and I created this Frankenstein of a Megabase, and it's working. Again, this is not an end-based design. It's definitely not finished. I don't know how much longer I'm going to continue playing on this, but it's a lot of fun. If there's anything that you'd like to see or have my opinion about, I don't know why you would want my opinion about anything, leave a comment and let me know. Some of the ideas that I might have for future videos are talking about the differences between speed running and building mega bases. There's a different mindset between the two players. See, people like Nilaus, very organized, very methodic. He's not a speedrunner at Factorio, but he really understands the games and the ratios of equipment and the ratios of ingredients that needed to make stuff, and he's very efficient in his thought process. I love watching his videos. And then there's other people like the speedrunners that just launch the first rocket as fast as possible to get world records, and they make these bases not quite spaghetti, but it's different. If any of you watching this, if you're watching this and you're a computer programmer, you understand the differences, or maybe you do, maybe you don't, between object-oriented programming and functional programming. If you don't know the difference, it's kind of a cool rabbit hole to go down. I think object-oriented and functional programming are very, very similar, and they kind of get the same job done, just different methods of doing things. But I feel Megabase design, you're very, very much object-oriented programming mindset, where everything is a sector, like the red circuit district, and you're moving it into its own district, and you're compartmentalizing and taking the components and the rationale of object-oriented programming and utilizing it to make a Megabase. When it comes to speed running, it's all about functionality of the base, getting the thing built to launch your first rocket as fast as possible. So you're not going to have everything like a Megabase. Everything's not going to be laid out. Like, to build the first base in the book, it took a really long time to build that. I really appreciated Nathan Sandbox's video when he started building his Megabase, because his Megabase, the beating the game, building the factory, looked like it would take less time to finish the game to start your Megabase by following his process. Because he was only going for, I guess, maybe like 1,000 science a minute, something small amount of science per minute in order to launch the first rocket. So therefore he needed less space. His bus on his main bus was a lot smaller than this big thing that we had starting off the game, trying to build a base. And He also, I think, had a robot logistic network to build his manufacturing hub, as opposed to the manufacturing hub off the main bus that we did when I followed Nilaus's base. So if you understand what I'm saying, you probably follow Factoria and you understand all that. Thank you for watching my video. I'm truly humbled that you took the time to watch it. If you watched the whole thing all the way through, even more kudos to you. Thank you. This is probably, I think it is the first video that I'm putting on this channel. If you want to see more, you got to let me know, because I may not make more videos otherwise. But this was a really fun game. I had a lot of fun making this video and explaining this Frankenstein of a Megabase to you and what my plans are for the future. Again, this base isn't done, but I'm excited. And I just want to wish you a Merry Christmas to you and your family, Happy Holidays, and a Happy New Year to you and your family. Life is awesome. Keep your chin up, even through this whole pandemic. It was stressful on everybody, but I think we're going to get through it one way or another, and things are going to look brighter on the other end. And yeah, have an awesome New Year, and thanks again for watching.